My name's Aladrian, and this is my video out. It's probably not an unpopular opinion anymore, but I would prefer to be Sith. I'm not sure if anyone has fully read out their creeds, but I don't know. I like having my emotions. I'm not sure if you could tell. But I just, the Jedi, sometimes I'm like, are we really rooting for the right side? Like, are we really? Like, I mean, I don't know. The devil's in the details. It's true. I'm Aladrian McDonald. I identify as a non-binary individual. My preferred pronouns are they, them, or he, him. I grew up in a very small known part of Alabama called Hooper City. It was where my dad's dad had actually built this little ramshackle house with mostly cement blocks and sturdy banisters, but it was a really small house. But I remember that being my first home. Me and my brother used to walk down the street, and I remember there's a picture of us floating around somewhere of us in our Sunday clothes, and I'm literally this tall. It was quiet. It's like the boonies for black people. I think it was one of my friends in middle school. I can't remember her name right now, but she was my best friend. And it was funny because she had a very much I don't care attitude, and she spoke that way often to the point you couldn't tell if she was sarcastic or not. And she literally looked at me and she says, "And?" I'm pretty sure earlier that year in middle school, um, I was actually talking to this girl who was in my brother's grade, so she was a grade above me. And I don't know, it was during the conversation, I got these butterflies, and I was like, "Oh no, what's this?" Hormones? And I went home and I thought about it, and of course I had that little mini panic attack of, "Oh no, how am I gonna tell my parents? Oh no, what am I gonna do?" It was really scary at first. I think I was really lucky. Um, I went to a Southern Baptist Christian school here in Alabama, and I will say it took me a good 2 years about to come to terms with who I was and find myself again because of the sheer amount of pressure I was under for so long. I had really lost myself for a long time, and it took even longer for me to decide I had self-worth. Um, but I have really loving parents, um, and I had really good friends that really nurtured uh, my peace of mind, that really helped me pull myself together. And I never had any outside pressure after that point of, you have to do this, you need to do this. It's just, if you want to do that, you can. Or you can do this. Or you can do this. And it was nice because it felt like I had choices. Um, I will say it probably slowed me down in the long run, but I mean, most people don't come back as well as I did from something like that. So it's not bad when you find your tribe. Um, Before I actually found my current group of friends, it could be really hard because you end up trying to do everything you can to go by unnoticed. Um, But when you start collecting people like-minded around you, you begin to kind of care less and less about if anyone else accepts you because these people do. Um, it can be hard. It can be rough. I've had some moments where I absolutely won't go to a certain area of town dressed a certain way, just because I'm not trying to get that attention. I'm just here to buy my groceries and go home. That's it. Trying to maintain who you are in a professional environment because you can't when someone is empowered, has an authority over you, it's really hard to speak up and to be who you want to be when you know that you're going to be mistreated and there's very little you can do about it. And I see that often. People like having to go to therapy, people looking desperately for another job because they just can't deal with the hate every day. We're still a red state. We're still very much a red state. And I think trying to balance who you are and just trying to make a living isn't fair to pick one or the other, you know? Honestly, the more I see just youth like out and about with different kinds of fashion, um, being who they are, like it sounds crazy, but just when I see people not afraid to go somewhere and wear what they want and listen to what they want and dance how they want, it makes me so happy. Because I'm like, you weren't afraid like I was. Like, there's no stigma around it for you guys. Like, go be you. Like, and that makes me so happy, just seeing them be happy. We've all heard the term, you know, it gets better. It doesn't just get better, you make it better. Um, be the change you want to see. Always work towards that goal. Like, the fight isn't for everyone, and you know what, when you're tired, put your sword down. But the future is better because you want it to be. So just keep trying. Like, don't give up. I tried, like, I've thought about it too, just that I don't want to do this anymore. Just, it does. Eventually, in time, you will start noticing that the world's getting just a little bit brighter. I used to be very, very, very self-conscious. I used to have a really bad mindset about myself. I used to like have thoughts of like I'm worthless, like I'm nobody, like I'm just a grain of sand amongst the beach. But I found like my self-worth, and I've decided like, you know what, yeah, there's a lot of us, but I'm still important to me and I deserve to be important to me. And just discovering self-love again and like deciding that I should love me the same way as you love someone in a relationship. It's a decision you make every day and you continue to do it every day.